Morning conference. I like this, by the way. Somebody brought me this card up and it says, "Privacy please, I'm watching Fed Talks." Which I thought was quite good, really. It's obviously altered the room card. So I don't know where you use the privacy bit for. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, very good. Conference. One of the things that the Federation is extremely good at, sometimes, not always, is recognising when we have real dire situations in our organisation, in our family. And it doesn't always involve members, it sometimes involves members of staff. And I'm going to tell you a bit of a story about one of our members of staff. We have quite a long-standing member of staff working for us, and he was on the telephone. Give me some water. He was on the telephone talking to Brian, and during that conversation, his brother, 10-year-old brother, came into the conversation and said, "I think you need to come and see my mum." Thanks. And Brian said to him, "I'll phone you back." And consequently, what happened was that, unfortunately, his mum had collapsed and his mum ended up in hospital. About a week later, unfortunately, his mum passed away. This member of staff, a young lad, is left with his brother because she was a single mum to look after. And you can imagine the devastation it is for the brother, but you can also imagine how touching it was that the 10-year-old lad all of a sudden had no parents and he had his brother to look up to. The member of staff's obviously got a great deal of responsibility to take on his shoulders, and so I immediately obviously said, first of all, we'd work with you regarding work, because obviously all of a sudden he had other things on his mind. But secondly, I reached out to members of the NEC, Finance, National Council, and indeed all the districts of this organisation. Because what I wanted to do was to set up a trust fund for the 10-year-old, so that when he became 21 years of age, although nobody can ever replace your mum, and I know that myself, and I lost my mum actually when I was 21 years of age. And there's not a day goes by, and occasions like this and any other occasion, when you realise how important your family is and how important your mum and dad are, but in particular, you know, mums, if you're our mummy's boy. But for 10-year-old, it's amazing how the guy and how he's reacted to it. Well, I reached out to everybody, and I was absolutely amazed and blown and unbelievably humbled by the response I got from everybody around this country, including Ireland and Wales and Scotland, everywhere. And my goal was to reach out and probably raise about £10,000, which I thought was a staggering amount of money, but I thought, you know what, let's go for it, let's think big. Well, last week, we held a bit of a party in the office because his brother, who works for us, and I was quite happy to just hand it over. We're going to put in a trust fund, but I would be happy to hand it over, but his brother wanted Josh, who's 10, to understand where that money came from. And so I had a bit of a party for him. And his favourite is Pokemon, so we got him a Pokemon game. We had his favourite food, which is Kentucky. Brian arranged with one of the suppliers to send him directly to his house about £300-400 worth of Pokemon, which you probably couldn't get in the shops, so that's brilliant. But more importantly, I want to tell you how much we raised in total. I was going for £10,000. We actually raised over £21,300. That's £21,300 of today that will be invested, and it will be administrated, and Brian, Angela and Andrew will look after that and make sure that it's ring fenced and it's only available to them at a certain age. But this is the sort of things that we do that is absolutely, you know, you've just clapped, but actually you should be clapping yourselves, because each and individual one did that. There was one district in particular, and I'm not pulling people out of the hat here, because people contributed as much as they could have afforded, or as much as they thought that the district could afford with the circumstances. But I have to say there's one district in particular that literally blew me away, because they immediately contributed a staggering amount of money. And I think it needs to be recognised. And I thought long and hard about this, because I didn't know whether it was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, because it's pinning one district that's put more money than everybody else. But actually, on reflection, I think it is the right thing to do, because it just shows the calibre of what we've done for the organisation. So I'm going to tell you the district is, because I'm going to present them with something. So I'd like the district president to come forward. It's Scotland. And the Scottish district put in this fund £5,000.
Let's go for a second.
So yeah, I just want to thank everybody on behalf of the member of staff for everything that you've done, and I'm sure in years to come that young lad will look down at some point, and hopefully that'll be his first deposit or pay for something for his university, whatever it might be, and realise that that doesn't replace your parents by any shepherd of the imagination, but what it will do is give him a foothold into life that probably some of us didn't have when we lost our parents at that particular time. Okay, so we want to start. Thank you.